Hi guys, it's Super Kitty. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing everyone how to make a controller because I made this one here and I had a lot of questions on how I took apart the controller, how I painted the controller, and all that other jimmy jazz. But I'm not going to be making this one exactly, but I'm going to be showing people how to do it just to show people a little bit better. Like, it's pretty cute. Show people a little bit better. I did get a couple nicks just from putting it back on because it took me a minute to figure out what was going on putting it back on, but I have it down now. So yeah, you can trust your girl. These are acrylic spray paint base, and to do these extra little details, just because I'm not going to be doing this on my other controller, you can take a acrylic paint and then add other stuff to your paints, like add another layer on there. So as long as it's an acrylic based spray paint, you can use acrylic paint to add other things. Then this right here, the sugar sparkle stuff, that is just Sharpie. That's just Sharpie I just took and kind of like blotted it. So you can do quite a bit of cool stuff with just Sharpies and acrylic paint. These were all custom bought buttons. If you don't want to buy your buttons, you can paint over your other buttons, but you can order these buttons off of Amazon or eBay. Another thing I would like to say is, like, some of these buttons will not work. Like, if you have a new PlayStation controller, you would have to get new PlayStation buttons, because these right here, this will not work for your new PlayStation controller. This is a classic PlayStation controller. So just keep those things in mind. So the controller that we're going to be working on is this blue one. I'm going to be painting this one, I think, a purple color, just because, like, blue is cool, but it's so blah and old, and normally I work off of straight black controllers, but I don't have any of those, and GameStop doesn't have any since the pandemic. So yeah, we're gonna be working on this guy. So first you're gonna take out these 4 screws located in the controller. You want to take those out, and then take this frame part off. You don't want to lose these little guys, so I just put them in my trusty little skull. Just a nice little spot that's big enough to hold all of your little pieces of your controller. So keep in mind, for your first time taking off your controller, you may need this. I would just slightly go in the edges of your controller to pop it off, and make sure that you don't stick this in too far, because you do have this ribbon here, which is your light ribbon, and it does control, you know, this motherboard on this side. So this is your controller. You would just take this ribbon and just pull it right out of here, this little area right here, and make sure that you're really gentle with this, because this guy is very, very breakable. And you go in, and this is your battery. This controls your whole little PlayStation. I'm going to pull that guy out. You just take it and you just pull him right out. So next we're just going to pull this guy right out too, and it takes a little bit because it's kind of in there, but you just got to work around it. Don't like force it out, just work around and get it to come out. So next there's a screw right here, and there's always going to be a little arrow showing you where this little guy's at, and you just go in there and take him right out. And put him in a safe place. So now that he's out, this whole piece here can come out, but you gotta pull this guy out first. This attaches, like, all this stuff, like this touchpad, to your motherboard, and you just pull him out. Ah, sorry guys. just so everyone is clear, I am doing this with one hand while recording, so there is going to be some bits and pieces that you do not see, but I'm trying the best I can with the equipment I've got. So yeah, you're gonna have to work around it. The main thing is how to paint the controller, but I want you guys to know how to put your controller back together because that is important. Now for the fun part. So I've taken off my buttons. It all comes out like this. Just put that whole piece over there. You don't even need to mess with that guy. So we're gonna peel all these pieces off. It's super easy. This little guy comes out. There's a piece of crumb in there, you guys. That's so gross. It's also good to know how to do this in case like you get anything in your controller, because God knows, like, some of us like to munch and play our games. So yep, there's the D-pad. You can really just go like this and all the buttons should fall out. And now you have an empty front cover. Well, nope, not yet. Now you have an empty front cover, which is what we want. So sometimes your back trigger button will get stuck. You do not want to lose these little guys right here. These springs, these are really important. So you're going to want to work this out in a way that's not going to break anything. I'll show you guys once I get it out. Okay, so let's say you break one of these little, let me focus, one of these little tabs here. Once that tab is broken, your controller trigger is broken. You would have to purchase a whole new button set to fix this. So we're not going to try to break these at all. Try to keep them as safe as possible. Okay, so this piece here, this just pulls right out. And these tabs, you're going to want to be really careful with them because these are just not double-sided tape, they're just taped down and they do break. So these just literally, you can see how there's little spots, they just pull right out. So since this has no place for anything to be screwed into this spot, that tells me right there that this is a classic controller. This is not a newer controller. So the newer ones has a little bar that goes across here that you screw in before you put in this piece here. So this is a classic. So you could use this controller if you have this same exact one with buttons that you buy. If you don't, you can spray them yourself, but I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So first, before we get to that, this part here is the part that's taped down. This is like your little shield to your light. You want to make sure it looks exactly like that when you put it back in. You don't want it any higher than that, any lower than that. You want it exactly on that little tiny light guard, okay? So for the last bit of this pops right out. If I can get it to pop out, there we go. So that pops right out, and just put that in there. And then this piece here, there's two screws that hold it in, and you just want to remove these screws like all the other ones. Make sure that you do not put in the wrong screw. These screws are very short and they're very little. If you put in the wrong screw, it will go through your controller. And I really don't want to talk about it, but you know, it's called learning for a reason, guys, and I'm the type of person who learns from my mistakes. So make sure that your screw, and just pay attention to the lengths of your screws, okay? So now that this little piece here is out, we just take that little piece of tape out, bam! And now your back piece is ready to be painted. Not ready, but now you have two naked pieces. You got bam and bam. So, yay, progress! There was so much food in this controller. I have some concerns. So that is going to conclude the first part of my video. This is just how to take the controller apart so that I'm not like confusing people and doing too much. So yeah, I almost just threw up in my mouth. That was a lot. Okay, so yeah, this is the finished part of the controller. It should look like this, and on the next video I will talk about sanding it down and painting your buttons and all that stuff. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.